What's up, you guys? Welcome to a new YouTube video. My name is Kate Wamoko. Today's video is going to be kind of different. I usually get this question a lot, especially from people who know me in person. Like, how do you take pictures of your food? Like, what camera do you have? And when I tell people that I've used my phone, a lot of people don't believe me because my pictures are kind of really nice. So people don't believe that they've been taken on a phone. But I have picked up a few tips that you can use in your food photography if you are a newbie food blogger, or if you are just someone who likes taking pictures of their food, or if you're interested in taking pictures of your food and you don't have a camera. This is a video for you. My first tip will be to use the capabilities of your phone camera to the greatest extent. This is what I mean. There are phones where the only mode you can use is the automatic mode, where when you open the camera, it's just automatic, yeah? But there are cameras which have a manual mode, and I would recommend using that because there's so much you can do using a manual mode camera if you just learn the photography basics. So the phone that I use is a Huawei Y9 2019, and it does have the manual mode on it. It has HDR as well. So I usually use the manual mode a lot, especially for videos and the pictures I put on Instagram and on my website. I use that a lot because it allows me to sort of work with my surroundings to get the best picture out of what I have before me at that moment. So if you have a camera that has manual mode, actually use it. There's so many resources you can use to just learn the basics of photography, the basics of ISO, how to work with exposure, how to work with white balance, and I will link some down below. If your phone does not have a manual mode, there's always settings that you can tweak or just learn your phone so that you know the settings in which it will take the best pictures. My second tip will be to use the light. Use the light, especially natural light. I will emphasize this over and over again because lighting is everything when it comes to photography in general, but especially food photography, because bad light means your food looks bad, and the goal is to make people feel like I want it now. That is the goal of food photography. Shoot in a place near a window, for instance. So for me, I have this window here, and the best recommended window is usually a window that faces north or south. Why that is because the sun goes from east to west, so the windows on north to south always have sort of a constant light. The light is spilling in, but it's constant. Whereas when it's an eastern window and it's in the morning, the light is really harsh. I would recommend shoot next to a window. If you can, shoot next to a north or south facing window. If you can't, just work with what you have. I have a west facing window. It bugs me out sometimes because sometimes the light is really harsh and it causes really harsh shadows, but I have to work with what I have. So another thing I would recommend with the light is to use shears. So this window has this shears. What the shear does is it diffuses the light. So because the light from the sun, especially on this window, is very harsh because it's facing west and it's afternoon, the shear diffuses the light so that the light coming in here is not as harsh as it would have been if it was just open. You get? So yeah, use your shears. Use a white shear especially because it diffuses light quite nicely, and you have soft light so that your subject does not have very harsh shadows. Point number 3, make your food pretty. Now, when you're in the house doing your thing, cooking your meal, your lunch, your supper, whatever, it's very easy to disregard the make your food pretty thing. But for food photography, that is the actual point. The beauty of the plate is why you're doing this, right? That's what will hook people to what your subject is, what your pictures are about. And what I will recommend is work with colors, work with shapes, work with different textures. Make that plate beautiful so that if it's a plate of mashed potatoes, you don't have just to put mashed potatoes, you can garnish with dania and make it beautiful, or you can just put a few pieces of crushed chilies on top, so that it's, yes, it's white mashed potatoes, but there's specks of red and specks of green. It's very difficult to take pictures when you're using cutlery that is shiny. You know, the kawaida shiny spoons or shiny plates, because what that does is when you're taking a picture of your food, the plates and the shiny spoons, they reflect back to the camera, and what you get is a very overexposed picture, especially in the places where the plate or the cutlery is being seen. So I will recommend use matte plates if you can, or this stoneware plates that are not glazed. I will say take pictures from many angles. I'll actually show you what my camera roll looks like, because it's a lot of pictures, because I take pictures from, some of them I take many from one angle, but I take something small and I take a picture, I take something small, I take a picture. Make sure you take pictures from many angles, because the many angles serve to give you a lot of content for varied uses. Next point, don't just upload your pictures the way they are, kavu to Instagram. We want to make them look professional and nice. So what you want to do is to edit them. I usually edit them on an app called Adobe Lightroom. I'm sure you've heard of it. I find it to be one of the best editing apps. It has a free version and a paid version. I have the free version because it has all the features I need for editing my pictures. Like everything I actually need is in the free version, so I don't really need the paid version. So I usually use that. Of course, there's a bit of a learning curve with editing on Adobe Lightroom, but that can be learned. If you have learned it, you can learn it. It's really simple. All you have to do is just to tweak a few things here and there and just figure out, okay, what do I want the end goal to look like? Figure that out and you have everything figured out. So as time goes by, you'll just figure out what works for the pictures you want to put out into the world. So Adobe Lightroom is one of the apps I will recommend. The other app I will recommend is VSCO or VSCO. I don't know how it's pronounced, but I've also used it before. I don't have it on my phone currently because I don't really need two different apps to do the same thing. But I've used it before and it's really nice as well. The next app that you can actually use is your Instagram. If you're taking food pictures for your Instagram page, you can actually edit your picture in your Instagram page by just using the editing features on it. You can use those three options to edit your pictures and see how it turns out. Another thing I will say about editing is have a very specific editing story. What I mean by this is the way you edit your pictures should be the same. If you like warm pictures, what I mean is the temperature on your picture is high. It don't make sense. Okay, what I mean by warm is the hues in your pictures are in the yellows and reds and oranges, as opposed to in the blues and purples and cooler colors. Yeah, if you prefer your pictures to be warm, don't post a picture that is warm today and then tomorrow cool and then tomorrow warm. Like stick to a similar editing story, so that when someone sees your pictures somewhere, they can actually recognize, oh, that is Kate's Instagram page. Like just seeing it mara moja, they know it's your page because you have a very similar editing story. And this will actually help you create, if you're creating especially for Instagram, because I feel like most people create especially for Instagram because it's a very visual platform. If you're creating for Instagram, it will actually help you to have a very uniform looking grid. If you have a very consistent editing story, and you won't have to consciously check whether your pictures are uniform, in a sense, the way people create a grid that looks kind of the same. It's very unified. You won't have to consciously check. It will actually come automatically if you have a similar editing story on every picture. So that's it, guys. This is the end of the video. I I don't think this video has been all encompassing. I feel like there's a lot of things that we can unpack in this topic. We can go into more detail, so I will actually make a part 2 of this video, because there's some things I feel like I've not touched on, and they actually contribute a lot to the final product that is a beautiful food photo. Make sure to subscribe, hit the thumbs up button if you've liked this video, and see you on the next one.